In today's lecture, we are going to see the first method for solving the quadratic equation, that is factorization method. Now, before actually seeing this method, I will give you a table which will make it very easy for the students to decide the sign of the factors. Now, before actually seeing the sum, let's first see the table which will help the students to see the signs of the factors. Now, since we know we are dealing with quadratic equation, now every equation will have two roots. So, let's see the table first. First column is for empty. Empty stands for middle term. LT stands for last term, and the last column is for factors. Now, if in the given equation middle term is plus, last term is plus, our both the factors will have sign plus. Now, if the middle term is minus and last term is plus, our both the factors will have minus sign. So, how to decide? First, see the sign of the last term. If the last term is plus, students should recollect that both the factors will be either positive or both the factors will be either negative. Now, how to check whether the factors will be plus or whether the factors will be minus? Just see the sign of the middle term. If middle term is plus, both the factors will be plus. If the middle term is minus, both the factors will be minus. Now, suppose middle term is plus and last term is minus, then our bigger factor will be plus and smaller factor will be minus. Similarly, if middle term is minus and last term is minus, our bigger factor will be minus and smaller factor will be plus. So, how students can remember this? Now, if the last term is minus, students should remember that both the factors will have opposite sign. Now, considering the sign of the middle term, it will help to decide whether to take the sign of the bigger number plus or whether to take the sign of the bigger number minus. If your middle term is plus, our bigger number will be plus. If our middle term is minus, our bigger number will be minus. Now, let's see some example based on factorization method. Now, let's see the second example. So, in this sum, the given quadratic equation is 3x square minus x minus 10 is equal to 0. Now, in this sum, the sign of the last term is minus, but the coefficient of x square is also 3. So, first we will multiply the coefficient of x square into the last term. So, 10 3s are 30. Sign is minus. Now, we know from the table we have seen that whenever the last term is minus, our factors will have opposite sign. It means one factor will be minus whereas the other will be plus. Now, middle sign is minus, so our bigger number will be minus and smaller number will be plus. Here we are having minus sign. Now, we are going to find out two numbers. If we multiply those two numbers, we should get 30, and if we subtract those two numbers, we should get 1. Again, I am repeating it. Since here the sign is minus, we will find out two numbers. If we multiply those two numbers, we should get 30, and if we subtract those two numbers, we should get 1. So, those two numbers are 6 and 5. Since the bigger number should be minus, so minus 6 plus 5. Therefore, 3x square minus 6x plus 5x minus 10 is equal to 0. Now, if you observe the first two terms, we can take x common. Also, 3 and 6 both are divisible by 3. So, we can take 3x common. So, what will remain in the bracket? X minus 2. From last two terms, we can take 5 common. So, again in the bracket we will get x minus 2. Therefore, 3x plus 5x minus 2 is equal to 0. Therefore, 3x plus 5 is equal to 0, or x minus 2 is equal to 0. Therefore, 3x is equal to minus 5. Therefore, x is equal to minus 5 upon 3, or x is equal to 2. So, what are the roots of the equation? X is equal to minus 5 by 3, x is equal to 2. Let's see the next example. In this sum, the given quadratic equation is 3y square is equal to 15y. Therefore, we can say that 3y square minus 15y is equal to 0. Now, if we observe the question carefully, in this sum we don't have last term. So whenever in the equation there is no last term, students should remember that one root of the given equation will be 0. So therefore we can take 3y common. What will remain? Y minus 5 is equal to 0. Therefore 3y is equal to 0, or y minus 5 is equal to 0. Therefore I can say y is equal to 0 or y is equal to 5. So in this case, since the last term was missing in the sum, compulsory one root of the given equation will be 0. Let's see the next example. In this sum, the given question is given quadratic equation is 6 root 3 x square plus 7x is equal to root 3. First, let's write the given equation in standard form. That is, on right hand side we should have 0. So minus root 3 is equal to 0. Now if we observe the question carefully, the last term is minus root 3 multiplied by 6 root 3. Root 3 into root 3 is 3. 3 6 are 18. So here we are having minus 18. Now we know whenever our last term is minus, our factors will be opposite in sign. Middle term is plus, so bigger number will be plus, smaller number will be minus. Now 18, two numbers, if we multiply those two numbers we should get 18. Here there is minus sign, so if we subtract those two numbers we should get the middle term, that is 7. So the numbers are 9 and 2. Middle term is plus, so we will take plus 9 and minus 2. Therefore 6 root 3 x square plus 9x minus 2x minus root 3 is equal to 0. Therefore now we will try to take common from first two terms. If we observe the terms, first we can take x common from both the terms. Now let's talk about the numbers. The numbers are 6 root 3 and 9. So we can take common as 3 root 3. So what will get? 3 root 3 multiplied by 2, 6 root 3. Here we are having x, here we are having x square, so here we will have one more x plus. Now already we have taken x common. Now 3 root 3 multiplied by which number will give us 9? Root 3 minus. Now in last two terms there is nothing common, so we will take 1 common. Therefore 3 root 3 x minus 1 2x plus root 3 is equal to 0. Therefore 3 root 3 x minus 1 is equal to 0, or 2x plus root 3 is equal to 0. Therefore I can say 3 root 3 x is equal to 1, or 2x is equal to minus root 3. Therefore x is equal to 1 upon 3 root 3, or x is equal to minus root 3 upon 2. Now let's see the last sum. In the last sum, the question is x square is equal to 3. Therefore given quadratic equation is x square is equal to 3. Let's write in the standard form. X square minus 3 is equal to 0. Now if you observe the question, in the question the middle term is not there, so here we are going to get the factors which will be same, only opposite in sign. Therefore x square minus 3 we can write it as root 3 bracket square is equal to 0. Now we have seen a formula in lower standards, a square minus b square is equal to 0. The formula is a minus b into a plus b. Therefore x minus root 3 x plus root 3 is equal to 0. Therefore x minus root 3 is equal to 0, or x plus root 3 is equal to 0. Therefore x is equal to root 3, or x is equal to minus root 3. So in today's lecture we saw one new method for solving the quadratic equation. The name of that method was factorization method. Now before actually seeing this method we saw one table. From the table we came to know that if our last term is plus, our both the factors will have same sign. Depending upon the sign of the middle term, we will take it as plus or we can take it as minus. Similarly, if our last term is minus, our both the factors will have opposite sign. If our middle term is plus, our bigger number will be plus. If our middle term is minus, our bigger number will be minus. Also, we saw some equation in which if the last term is missing, we know that one factor is compulsory 0. Also, if the middle term is missing, both the factors will be equal in value, only the signs will be opposite. So now students should solve the second exercise from quadratic equation. If they find any kind of doubt or any kind of difficulty, they can mention in the comment box.